We had a chance to go behind the scenes of the powerful production of Champion at the Lyric Opera, and I had a chance to sit down with some of the talent behind it all. I'm your host, Front Row Phyllis. Champion tells the true story of Emil Griffith, a professional boxer from the U.S. Virgin Islands, when he threw a fatal punch in the boxing ring in the early 1960s after being taunted for sexuality by his rival. Welcome, and thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Tell our viewers a little bit more about what they're going to expect to see.
Well, I think it's a very exciting production. It's a very unusual story. I can't think of too many operas that have been written about sports figures, for starters. But the one thing that I think I want to say up front is that it's not just a story about boxing. You know, the central character is a boxer who had a very operatic life, as I like to say. But, you know, it's really a story that exists on so many different levels. And if you are a fan of opera, you're going to love it. If you are interested in sports figures, there's enough in there for you. It's a story that reaches so many people and resonates on so many levels. Plus, it's got music by one of the great jazz artists of our time, Terence Blanchard.
What was really interesting, so this takes place in the 60s. He's this incredible athlete, but he's living a double life. How do you think he was able to do this mentally and physically as this incredible champion?
Well, you know, like you said, he's a boxer, so he's fighting in the ring, but he's also fighting for his life a little bit. But what's so beautiful about throughout the process of him going through the trauma is that there's resilience in him as well. And Act 2, you start to see him start to go through dementia and start to, you know, forget things that used to happen. And in a sense, you know, it can almost feel like relief that you could forget these things. But it's also, for us watching it, it's also very, very hurtful and very sad. But I always like to say, I was just saying in the other interview, that it's about joy also as well. There's some joy in the resilience of this guy getting through this very hard, traumatic life that he's living through.
We have Emil Griffith, and we have Young, and the older version, is that correct?
Yes.
I want to know, how do you prepare for this role?
Well, the preparation in general for an opera is pretty extensive. It's an athletic event in itself. I have to train physically and as well as intellectually and vocally. And I hired a boxing coach. I really fell in love with it. It's such a beautiful sport. It reminds me of ballet in a way. The movements are very fluid. Any kind of stiffness is going to ruin your technique. It's going to ruin your chances of winning. And it's very similar to singing in a way, where as soon as you tighten up, it's over.
Reginald, what do you think? How did you prepare for this role?
Well, fortunately for me, I don't have to sing with my shirt off like Justin. So
that's the next act.
There's an extra layer of preparation that goes in there. But, you know, the music is really exciting, and it's really intricate with the jazz elements, as well as, you know, an element of new music, and it's very real and it's very visceral. What's added in the role of old Emil is we see him suffering from memory loss, from head trauma, from lots of boxing matches, and you have to delve into what is it like to be someone that has short-term memory loss.
And you play Emil's mom.
Yes.
What preparations did you have to do for this type of role?
It's learning the music. It is very Terence Blanchard, and so it's very jazzy, very trumpet-like, and I'm a singer, so you kind of got to figure out how to make the voice thing do the trumpet thing, kind of. And I also took some boxing for a little bit.
You did?
Yeah, just to get my mind in the realm, you know, like, what is this world? Because Imelda ends up in that world, and she, in a way, is a guide for him. And so it's odd. It's kind of like he's taking care of her, but she's taking care of him. And I got to do a boxing show. I should know something about what they're doing up there.
Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I was actually pretty good at it.
I know. Well, okay.
I just didn't like getting hit. So once I got hit, it was over with.
Don't miss this extraordinary production, Champion, playing January 27th through February 11th at the Lyric Opera. Live from the Lyric Opera, it's Front Row Phyllis.